Nailed it.
Beautiful call. Beautiful countdown.
Yeah. We are now live.
Whoa.
I think so. Yeah, there it goes. Now it shows live.
We're live.
Welcome to OreAni 2022 Spring Lineup Season Part 2. Yeah. So, thank you everyone for joining us. We kind of ran out of time last week, so we decided that we needed to split this up, and we're going to continue with the rest of the list. I think we left off last week on Kunoichi Tsubaki no Mune no Uchi. Also known as In the Heart of Kunoichi Tsubaki. And I believe most of us agreed that it was a great show. But today we're going to discuss something else, which unfortunately I think is on the opposite side of that. A not so great show. And now we have our title cards, I guess you call them, right?
Yes.
What is this? Mahotsukai Reimeki? Also known as The Dawn of the Witch. So what I've been told is that this follows in the same universe as this anime that came out a few years ago called The Grimoire of Zero. And yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to see who watched this. All the names are at the very top of the list, and I can't see. Oh, so it looks like just myself, Neo, and Albert. You said you saw part of it as well.
No, did not. I saw the previous Connected Universe one, but I actually dropped it after 2 episodes, so I can't be of help.
Okay, and it looks like Jessica, who isn't with us, was also saw part of it. I'm getting lost here. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce everyone, so let's go ahead and do that right now. We got a guest with us, sound only here. Dragon Warrior #1, our first guest here. Say hello, Dragon.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm so happy that we're getting some more people with us to discuss anime and share some new insight. We also have Vinny.
Hello.
We have Sean back with us. We missed you last week.
Yep, managed to turn myself away from Elden Ring long enough to watch something.
And we have Albert.
Hello.
And of course, myself. Now, hopefully we'll have Jessica or Neo join us later on. I guess I don't know if they couldn't make it or not, but they're in our hearts always here. If I sound a little weird, it's because I have a little cold, hopefully. And let's go ahead and talk about this Mahotsukai show. I guess since I'm the only one who's really been watching it, I guess I should talk about it, right?
I only remember like little bits and pieces of it. I haven't really been paying too much attention to Mahotsukai Reimeki.
I think they call him Sabis or something like that weird. Who's the main protagonist with these weird blue eyes. And he goes to this school, and I guess he's not doing very well. He's unable to control his magic or the cast magic properly, so he's considered the bottom of the whole class and everything. And he's given an opportunity to go on this special assignment that if he's able to complete it, then he'll pass. If not, then his future is probably gonna be gone because he's not able to do anything in the school. And he soon realizes that he's going to be escorted by I believe she's a witch.
Yes, I believe she's a witch, and then she has like a super like powerful staff that's supposed to only be used by her, because if used by other people, it leeches off their life, I think.
Yes, and then also with I think 4 other classmates, Holt, Cood, and 2 other students who we don't really care about, I guess, in this story. But they're to go on a journey to a town to go under apprenticeship with another witch or something like that, and to help spread the magic or the mages that they are something good. Because I guess witches are seen kind of down upon or seen as something scary. So they're trying to share the magecraft that they do, that they've learned from the Grimoire of Zero, as something good. So it's a journey with them going there, them learning more about each other, becoming separated because of certain issues, and your stereotypical thing, but it's kind of not as great as I was hoping. Because I remember the Grimoire of Zero, I think that witch that travels with the Beast companion was kind of fun, and their journeys and how they went about. But this just doesn't have that same feel. So right now, it's not too appealing, and I can't say that I really recommend it. I'll probably keep on watching it because since I'm watching it with a group of friends, with that group of friends, we can at least amuse ourselves with the craziness that's going on. But if I were to watch it on my own, I probably would have dropped it.
Fair enough.
But what turned you off of it, Albert? Like, it just wasn't there for you?
So I haven't watched this, Tank. I think you have a fever too. I haven't watched any of this episode.
I swear I could have heard you said you watched the first 2. I don't know why. I keep on hearing something wrong.
Of the previous, the connected one, the Grimoire of Zero, I watched 2 of that. Not of this.
Oh, okay, that's where I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a fantasy world, and when it's fantasy, you kind of hope it would be good, because with most fantasy types, it's usually an isekai, but unfortunately, this isn't that great, which kind of leads us into like our next title. If you guys will give me just one moment to find the title. I can't find the title. Oh, there it is. Open.
Oh, Neo, welcome.
Sorry for my late entrance.
Hey.
Well,
Hello.
Hey, welcome, Neo. Yeah, that pause was for Neo to join, yeah. All planned out. Sorry, the title was giving me problems. But the next title, which is an isekai, is Otome Game Sekai wa Mob ni Kibishi Sekai desu, or Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otome games is tough for mobs.
I hate it already.
Oh my gosh. Right off from the start, it looked terrible. It was just so bad. All you see is this guy playing a game and just complaining so much about how this game sucks. And he's just like yelling at everyone to die in this game. He's like, die, die. And just being really pissed off. And you find out that his sister is forcing him to play this Otome game for him to get all the unlocks of the scenes. So he's just playing this game and hating it every moment of it. And eventually something happens and he wakes up and he finds out that he's been isekai'd into the Otome game that he was just playing. And in this Otome game, which is women hold all the power, and he unfortunately lives in this, he's like the how do you say it, the side son. I mean, he's not really that high up in this family that's a baron, which is really low on the aristocrats in that society. But he somehow becomes like a farmer and just wants to live his life in peace. But then he finds out that he's going to be married off to some random stranger and he doesn't like it. So he decides to start using his Otome knowledge from this game that he played to kind of cheat and get ahead. And he does exactly that. But it's just so funny because this guy is like utterly worthless and just hates everything and just doesn't want to bother with things. So he's kind of the opposite of your normal protagonist who's OP'd and is the super nice guy and helps everyone. This guy is just the whole other way around, and he just wants to live a nice life and everything. And eventually he does acquire the funds and the abilities he needs to kind of set him off from not having to marry, but he has to still go to this academy, which is where the main focus of the game is, I guess. And even there, he's seen as a side character. No one wants anything to do with him. And of course, there's the princes, which are the main focus of the game to capture. So, he realizes all this and he's just sick and tired of everything. And even in classes, he doesn't want anything to do with it. But for some odd reason, this show does have some charming moments and some moments which just makes me laugh. Like everything, like I guess tea ceremonies held by the men are something that needs to be done to court a woman for marriage, and he just finds it utterly ridiculous, and he even tells the teacher, "This is stupid. Why should I have to do this?" And the teacher's like, "I'll show you what a true tea ceremony is." And then the next scene, you see him cry, and he's like, "I didn't know it was so beautiful." It's so dumb, but in a way, it makes it funny, and it's just an outrageous show that I've just been enjoying watching. Now I know Neo's been watching it. How did you feel, Neo?
Honestly, after watching the first episode, I was like, I'm so not gonna watch this. It looked so cringy, and it just looked like that sort of anime that you wouldn't enjoy. But like after I guess watching the second and the third episode, I actually started to enjoy it because it was kind of funny, his resentment towards the world being based off the Otome game that, like you said, his sister forced him to play. But yeah, like it's just some moments are really stupid, and then others are just funny. Like honestly, all I can say is I've just been enjoying it, and it's been a laugh.
What about you, Albert? I'm surprised that you're actually watching this, according to this list.
Yeah, so I tend to pick a few isekais to check out. Actually, I think I checked out all the isekais, and of that, this is certainly trash. It's, I believe, based on a light novel, as if you can tell from the long ass title. But it's funny because it's one of those that's self-aware and making fun of it, right? So kind of falls in the Konosuba type of genre where they know they're in an isekai and they're poking fun at the fact that it's an isekai. In this case, it's all the horrible otome games and otome game anime adaptations, as far as I'm concerned. And when I watched episode 1, I wasn't sure because the way the character design, the eyes of the girls with all these sparkly things and these giant irises, it was freaking me out. But story-wise, it's self-aware, and the protagonist is self-aware, and he's stuck in this horrible game world that makes no sense, where it's a matriarchy, yet the princes, are the romantic. What do you call it? The target of whoever the main heroine is supposed to be, right? The player stand-in. But then it starts throwing things that I've seen in other light novels and mangas. I'm not sure if it's actually been in a anime where he realizes that there's a second person in the world that's also from isekai, right? So he's not the only person with the knowledge, and so the game is already derailed, and he's like, screw it, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, because the game world is actually the game world that I think he was actually playing, because and before he got isekai, he used his actual cash to purchase something in game, right? So it's an in-game cash purchase, and he hated that fact, but he did it so he could quickly finish the game. And so he knows where that thing is supposed to be, or where he gets it in game, and that's how he gets this powerful ship and AI and suit of armor that is essentially a mech. So everything about this is so ridiculous. I'm just watching it to see how ridiculous it gets. But it in typical fashion, it's just going to be another harem, and it's super dumb, but it is entertaining because it's so dumb. It's so dumb, it's so good.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall another anime like this where there's technically two people reincarnated in the world.
There's a bunch of them in manga, and I expect that those will eventually get adapted. But I'm not exactly sure when, but it's not just one character; it's multiple characters. There are ones where they all show up at the same time, right? The entire class is summoned. Like, what's the one with the horrible sea? Arifureta. And so,
Oh yeah.
or even Shield Hero, right? There are four heroes that are summoned at the same time. But this one, they don't know about each other until he finds out. So it became a trope somewhere. It's another trope where there's multiple hidden isekai characters vying against each other without knowing, that kind of thing.
You also forgot the slime anime, man.
Oh yeah, huh? Because in Reincarnated as a Slime, like different people from like different time periods get reincarnated, or they get sent into they get isekai into the fantasy universe.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to keep on watching this because it's just a silly show to watch it and unwind. The only thing I don't like about it is that I think it comes out on Monday, which is a really awkward day. But okay, let's see what our next title is going to be. I'm pulling up the list. This is called Paripi Kome.
Yeah, also known as your boy Kongming.
Sorry, I had a cough.
Pretty good.
Looks like, wow. Albert and Vinny are watching this.
Oh.
So what is this show about? I have no idea.
All right, Albert, take it away.
Okay, so this is kind of isekai. It's the time of the warring Three Kingdoms in China, right? And the strategist Kong Ming, as we know him, he's dying, and then he dies, and he wakes up in the middle of this Shibuya Halloween party, and so he thinks he's gone to hell because all of these crazy lights and crazy people dressed up in characters, and he sees the Reaper, and some guys, kind of take him in, and he's like, "Oh man, you're dressed really cool," and they take him to a club where he hears this girl, Eiko, which also happens to be my mom's name, but Eiko is, works at the club, and she is singing and trying to break out, right? To break into the music industry. And so he, it's the first time he's actually felt like this, since being isekai, that it's the voice of an angel. And when he realizes that he's actually not dead and in hell, but in an isekai situation, doesn't know how, he doesn't know why, but he wants to help her make it. So he becomes her manager and, plans to help her become a top singer. And so that's the ridiculous premise, right? Um, yeah, it's actually entertaining. The girl Eiko is voiced by an actress who can actually speak some English because she sings in English, and it's not too bad. It's not cringy like several others that we've heard before. So that's a plus. The music's actually pretty good, and the character interactions between Kong Ming, Eiko, and the club manager where she works at, he happens to be a Three Kingdom otaku, so he's always constantly quizzing Kong Ming because everyone thinks he's, some dude that's just pretending to be Kong Ming reincarnated, right? Doesn't make any sense. And that kind of interaction is hilarious. The strategies that he comes up with to try to sell her much better to the crowd in a club competition. All of these, it's actually pretty interesting. So I'm having a fun time watching it. It's not to everyone's taste, but I think it's kind of a overlooked gem this season.
Hmm.
That actually doesn't sound like the worst premise. Just a man from history, like taken to the present day.
It's ridiculous premise, but it's highly entertaining at the same time because of what he is and what he is capable of. And the fun part is how quickly he adapts into this modern world. By the way, when he was dying, he wished to live in a world without armed conflict, bloody battle, endless battle that he was wrapped up in. So when he woke up, it's sort of like his wish has been granted, where there's no actual battle for lives, but now that has moved into the battle for the stardom that he's kind of getting himself wrapped up into. Um, Let me say, I believe this is being done by PA Works, and I think it's on High Dive, which is kind of a bummer for many people who doesn't have the subscription. I think
PA
that's
works.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that other show where the samurai from out of time like pilots a mecha.
Yeah. No. This is better. Simply because it's the adaptation and not the original creation. I think the original creation tends to be hit and miss, but this is adapted from manga of the same title. It's aimed for the older readers, so it doesn't really rely on too much a cheap cliche. But the cliche of this series is basically all this war strategy that Kongming was using in his past lifetime, and he's adapting into the modern ways to go about it. So of course that gets the manager's blood going, since he's all about the three kingdoms and all those historical famous battles and the friendships and what have you. So he's trying to help Eiko to succeed in becoming a star, and he's going to brush up against a lot of other vested interests, small and big, and the fact that he always dress up like a Kongming, that's people are aware of, and it's funny how that he was able to get away just dressing up like that simply because he's in a really crazier part of the town where pretty much anything goes. And opening is very entertaining. It's equal part cheesy and equal part hypnotic, and there's a lot of colors, a lot of cheesy dance tunes going on, and I think the opening itself is just worth watching it instead of skipping by. And I think it's up to volume 9 in manga. It's up to 6 here in US digital release. And the way it's pacing it, I think it's gonna go pretty far before the first season ends. But so far, I'm I'm pretty much all caught up to 6 episode, and I think everybody should at least give it a shot. I think if you watch the first 2 episodes, you'll probably figure out whether it's something that you'll want to watch it or not. But at least the animation quality is pretty consistent. It's not lacking for worse.
All right, thank you. Let's see.
I'd like to add that the opening, fun fact about the opening is that it's actually a Japanese cover of a song, a song that was sang in Hungarian from what I can remember. And that song was actually done like 7 or 8 years ago, before it came out as the opening for Your Boy Kongming. So
Groovy.
just a small little fun fact.
Nice. Okay, next up, we got RPG something. Fudo-san.
So yeah, the English title is just RPG Real Estate. So I've been watching this and enjoying it. This anime, I would have to say, is one of those good animes to watch, say, after a very intense sort of anime like Shield Hero, or too bad we don't have 86 to watch. That's always this anime is always good to watch after something like that when you're just so emotional. So RPG Real Estate is about a witch that has come to the city, and practically she's wanting to find a home for herself. And she goes to this real estate agency, and it's pretty simple concept. They go and try to find her a house. There's things that just doesn't work for her, or they're out of her budget. And in the end, they're like, oh, we can't find a house for you that works. And then out of like weird circumstances, like an area becomes vacant, and she ends up living with living next door to one of the workers at the real estate agency. But plot twist was, she's actually going to be working there from now on. The plot is practically as simple as it gets. They get newcomers each episode and just try to find a house for them. There's not really much else that goes on except for just the weird, like, there's a dragon that was spotted, and then they just talk about that. So it's quite relaxing anime. There's not a big story to it. The characters are quite nice and cute, I guess. So yeah, it's a good anime.
Is it something you would recommend?
Yeah, like I'd say I would recommend it. It's just like there's not really much that goes on in the anime, so it's just something to just, I guess, sit, watch, and relax.
So kind of more of a slice of life.
Yeah.
Got it.
Reminded of some other anime from maybe last year about a dragon that's trying to shop for real estate or something like that.
Actually,
yeah,
now that you mention that, I tried watching that anime and instantly dropped it. So I guess RPG real estate is doing a better job than that anime did.
Okay. I mean, I only saw one episode too. I'm like, that's a funny joke for one episode. I'm not going to watch a whole season of that.
Yeah, I watched the first episode and it was like, nah, I'm good.
Okay, so this next title, which it seems that you're the only one who's seen it as well, Neo, is That Little Ghost.
Yeah. So I decided to like just have a, I guess, quick shot at this, and the English title is Miss Shashi. Oh, geez, Shakiko or something like that, and the little baby ghost. It was an instant no for me watching the first episode. It was, I guess, an office worker that does crazy overtime and sleep deprived. And practically there's these like, or there's this one little ghost that like I don't understand what she does at the office or anything, but she's like, I think trying to help the worker to like, go home and sleep, don't, do overtime and exert yourself or whatever. But yeah, it's just like chibi character with the high pitch like voice or whatnot. It's just, for me it was a no. So this could be your anime, but for me it wasn't.
So what I'm hearing is this is basically like the Carrying Fox Senko-san, except it's a ghost.
I was about to bring that thing up too.
That's
What if instead of a ghost?
Yeah, it's very similar in concept. I'm sure there's. The important thing is the protagonist named Nakano, like mine. Senko-san, the protagonist's name, his family name was Nakano, which is my family name.
Right.
Just a joke.
But like compared to like Helpful Fox Senku-san, it's just like people probably like really like the cutesy voice and like the very child, like I'm talking like 5-year-old child sort of thing. But yeah, it was a no for me for this one.
So I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's like My Tiny Snow Fairy Sugar.
Nah, I haven't heard of that title.
Oh, yeah. There's these like little fairies that this girl can see, and they're kind of young and annoying, and have that high pitched voice as well. But okay, yeah.
I'm just more disturbed that this is like the second one where, someone working for a very black company, right? Black Studio is helped by some otherworldly person or otherworldly spirit or whatever, and so they can make it through their horrible work life. That is not a good message, guys. You should be helping to have them quit their crappy job. Frustrating. Japan, come on. This is why your population is at an all-time low.
Oh, that's one view.
Okay, here's our next title. So this isn't an isekai, but it is a rebirth or resurrection type.
Reincarnation?
Yeah. Shijo Saikyo no Daimon. No, wait. Daimao. Sorry, Daimao Mu Murabito e ni tensai suru. The greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody.
Mm.
Which it looks like quite a few of us dabbled in it a little bit. It looks like Albert
So
jumped ship fast.
does he manage a McDonald's or what?
Sorry, excuse me. No, unfortunately, Lot. So I believe he was a demon lord in his before he resurrected, but he became so powerful and basically controlled the whole world. But because of that, it isolated him, even from his companions that he thought were friends. Began to move away from him and treat him as some kind of otherworld being instead of his companion. So he became really, really lonely, and he decided that to get out of this loneliness, he would, I believe, resurrect himself, or in a different time, right? So that's
Reincarnate.
what reincarnate, whatever. Yeah, reincarnate himself, and yeah. So he does that. He enters a new family. He's for some odd reason gets the same name.
Does he have to throw himself in front of a stagecoach to resurrect, or what?
No, he casts a spell.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just it's not as cool as you would think. But yeah, so he now in a new life, and things are basically going the same as it was beforehand, because he doesn't have that social skills to interact with others. So as a child, he wasn't able to interact with his other children in the town, and even when he did try to do it, it was very off-putting and very weird, and the kids would run away from him. And he finally meets this one girl, saves her life, and decides that he wants to try to befriend her, and puts all this effort into it. And as you go through this, you realize that he's actually, because of his memories, he's a very powerful person still. And magic, I believe, has gone down quite a bit in this time. I can't remember how many years have passed. I think it was like a few hundred.
I think it was
it's
like
1,000.
200. Right? What was it? 1,000? I thought it was like 200 years.
Really? I thought it was 1,000.
I'm bringing it wrong though.
Oh, wait, yeah,
I like only watched a couple.
It doesn't
episodes.
matter.
Oh yeah, it says here a few millennia later. So,
Mm.
so yeah, but magic and everything's gone down, and he helps this girl and finally gets his first friend. So, it moves all the way up into him being older now with the girl and going to a new school, and of course he still only has that one friend, and his goal is to try to make more friends and just meets other people. And of course, because of his family and how they were villagers, he's treated and looked down upon in this school, because in the school of magic there's a lot of aristocrats too as well, and so they look down on him because of that. But he's a powerful mage, and he's able to handle himself, and he helps others along the way as well. So there's not much else to say about this. He meets other people. I think he thinks are descendants or people from his past that are somehow still around. But he wants to keep that hidden, and because he doesn't want to go back to the isolated life that he had beforehand. And it's just him now living through life, trying to become a new person to be able to get more friends, and while helping the friends he does have, in a nutshell. So that's why it's
It's
the
just not a very good show. We already had, what was it, the Misfit of Demon Academy?
Yeah,
with
the
the
Misfits.
Giga Chad. right? Anna Voldegor, who this is like the low rent version of that. So also, when you grow up in a village, uh, he's at the time the story starts. He's like, how old is he? Like 10 or something, maybe 8. I don't know. If you grew up naturally in a village with kids your own age, you're just naturally going to associate with him. But instead, up until this point, he has had like no contact apparently with any other kids his age, and everyone runs away from him because he's acting weird, but no one knows about him. It's just a really weird forced setting. It's not very well thought out, in my opinion. And that's why I've read the manga. The art was cutesy, so I read a couple of volumes. But this adaptation is it's not very good. It's not very good.
I think the only thing this has over the other is maybe this one's a little more ecchi than the other one. I can't remember if the Misfit how ecchi that one was, but this one tends to be a little more ecchier with this girl being a succubus and trying to get in his bed every few episodes or so.
I did find a few elements like, I don't know, like scratching my head or like questioning. Like for example, like the main protagonist's parents, after he reincarnates, are like supposed to be like, what is it? They're like these heroes or something. Or I can't quite remember what they are, but like, it's just like they've got this whole view of like, oh, that's my kid. He's guaranteed to be strong, sort of thing. It's like they don't worry about him. Um, but like it was kind of like funny, but also like maybe you should stop when he was so persistent in becoming friends with I think her name's Irina when they were like children. Like he would just follow her everywhere and do all these sort of like my lady or some things he'd call her like that. Um, and I think he was also like trying. I can't quite remember, but like wasn't he trying to like plan a scenario that would benefit him to becoming friends with her or something? Like just sounds like he's just trying to force himself on her, and it's just like going, just 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 be nice, like. And I guess it's like that whole like thing of how he hasn't communicated with anyone even in his past life, like you said, all his superiors, I'm not superiors, sorry, underlings or whatnot, would go like, oh no, it's the big boss, can't have a tea and tea and biscuits or something with him. But like another funny fact was like if he would encounter someone like supposedly from his past life, it it's like the thought of like the previous Demon King um would be like, oh, he's a deserter, like he's just like got out of all of his responsibilities and all that. So I found this anime quite funny and enjoyable, but other times it's just like going, can I skip?
All right. I don't think there's much else to say about this show, right? I mean, yeah, not much else to say. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one, which is another kind of isekai show. It's also a show that's kind of hard to watch with other people, I think.
Wait, why? Why'd you say that?
Oh, because not many people have
High dive.
a high dive account. And this show is on High Dive, so it's
Gotcha.
oh wait, here it goes. Shoke Shoujo no Virgin Road, the executioner and her way of life. So, yeah, like I said, this is on High Dive, and I think we've only seen the first 2 episodes. I
Oh, mm,
I haven't been able
I've
to
watched
keep up
more,
with
but
it.
I've been watching more. I believe me and Neil are caught up currently on it.
nice.
I know it's based off a light novel because I bought the first 2 light novels online. But uh, why don't you give us the gist of it, Dragon? I haven't heard you talk quite.
Okay, so we kind of start out with one character being like in your like standard like isekai moment, or like, oh, like he gets summoned into like a fantasy world, and then we're kind of given like the standard like, oh yeah, like we've summoned you here, and like, you know, you have like some type of special power, and then so we'll give you like someone to help like guide you around like town and understand what the situation is. But like I think at this point they've been living in like a kind of like peace where they don't really have to fight any like demon lords or stuff like that. And actually like this wasn't like the person that we see that gets isekai isn't the first one that's an isekai. And as they roam through the town, we see that like they've already like have a lot of influence from people who have been isekai before, because there's like modern like kind of like neon signs, and like I think they call it like Japan 2 or like Tokyo 2 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But like they've already taken a lot of influence from all these people who have been isekai, and when we continue seeing like this, like, oh, like, you know, it's like your normal like isekai until like um this priestess kind of like shows up and is trying to help like tell him like about what the world is like. And in this split second it just totally shifts from like your whole like expectation, because like she instantly kills the guy that we think would have been a protagonist of the isekai. And it's like, wait, he's she just killed him like instantly. And then it's like, hold up, expectations diverted, and we find out that the reason why that she killed him is because most of these people who get isekai usually have such a strong power that eventually comes to a point where like they don't know how to control it, and it's actually detrimental to the world. And eventually she finds out that like when that like, one guy gets isekai, there was another person that was isekai as well, as a diversion to protect the one that they secondly summoned into the world. And so then she has to go and like, you know, kill that other person in order to help stop any calamity that may occur. And what ends up happening is when she tries to kill that other person, she can't because of that person's special power. And now it's their journey to try to figure out how to kill her, or like prevent any like other person trying to steal her to use her power for any other evil cause.
Yeah, so I think this is another one of those at the beginning kind of self-aware. Sean, you might actually enjoy this first episode, but it turns out every person from another world that's summoned is Japanese. So that's why it's all these Japanese influences with their city and the writing. Um, and these people that are summoned from Japan, they have something called pure concept, and each one is different, but they have something because it's so the concept is so strong, it causes an effect on the world. So the guy that we think is the protagonist and is killed in the first episode, his concept was null, um, nullification, right? So he's able to completely, it's like a disintegrate. He completely destroys whatever it is. Um, if he can think about it enough. And the priestess, this religious order, has tasked itself to eliminate these because there have been 4 great calamities, including turning an entire continent of the world into salt. So, unchecked, they're trying to prevent this next potential calamity. And it seems at this point, regardless of the intention of the summoned person, they will eventually go out of control. And so I think everybody up to this point has died in some way. The summoned person, whether they achieve their task and for their summoner's purpose or not, or if they went completely crazy. The priestess Menno that you meet in the first episode is our protagonist, and she, one of the protagonists, she experienced one of these calamities, and she was the only survivor of that calamity and was adopted by the church. And so she has strong reasons to prevent such, another calamity, but by getting this task of this Akari girl whom she can't kill because of Akari's pure concept of. I won't go into that, but it starts to kind of force her to change some of her perspectives, and I think that's the interesting part. So, yeah, I'm watching it because it's interesting and in a different way. It's one of the 2 isekai I'm watching, and this one is purely because I think it's actually somewhat thought out, and I find it hilarious that it's only Japanese people who are summoned, and they all end up destroying the world. So there we go. Check out an episode if you want.
Now it all makes sense why Godzilla is always attacking Japan. Yeah, hopefully I'll catch up here in a bit. But I think it's a really interesting show, even with the few episodes I've seen, and I really want to continue with this. And I would recommend people at least watch the first episode, because the first episode was really, really crazy.
I'll just add, so far from, what I've seen, how many episodes I've seen so far, I'd say, each episode really keeps me interested in the anime, because it just ends up being some unexpected or events or a plot twist or something. So that's definitely something to look forward to when watching this anime.
Okay, let's talk about the show everyone's here for, or everyone knows.
Yay!
And let's start with Sean, because this is, I think, the only show Sean has watched, right?
Yeah, the one show that I'm watching. Yep, Spy X. First of all, the name is Spy, and then there's a multiplication symbol, and then family. Then I look up the Japanese title, and it's just straight up Spy Family, without the X.
X is
But I'm
kind of
gonna
like
guess.
a silent thing. Like Hunter x Hunter. Some people say Hunter x Hunter, but in
Yeah.
Japanese you would just say Hunters.
Or
Then
Triple
I've seen other things, Japanese titles, where there's an X at the end, and you're supposed to pronounce it as cross. So I don't know if it was like Spy Cross Family. It's like we're doing a cross product here, or
I've been
No, it's just
saying
Spy
Spy X Family for too long. I'm gonna keep saying it.
yeah, same here. They put the X in the name. I can't help it. So Spy X Family, Spy Family. The main character is the greatest spy in all of bootleg West Germany. There's this East Germany, West Germany thing going on, and East Germany wants to instigate the war, and the greatest spy of all time, who goes by the codename Twilight, He foils their plan to start this war, and his next mission, he has to whip together a fake family and like get the kid into this prestigious school so that he can get close to his target. And the episode starts out with him getting this mission. He's just like, I don't know how to like, where am I going to get a kid in 7 days? So he just walks into the orphanage and says, I'll take that one. And turns out that kid is a secret telepath. She can read minds. But he doesn't know that. And then in the next episode, he's like, okay, I need to find a wife, and then happens to bump into someone who says, hey, can you be my fake boyfriend? And then he says, what if you become my fake wife? And she says, okay, but little does he know that she's actually this hitman that will do a triple backflip in a dress and stab you in the back. So this like totally absurd fake family where like nobody knows what the other one is really up to is coming together, and it is a comedy drama, and I picked this one to check out just because it seemed to be the highest profile title this season. Just looking at like, you know, it's Wit Studio with Cloverworks, you know, that makes you imagine this like quality explosion, but in practice it's actually just like a perfectly acceptable, nothing special about a TV show. So, you know, like I'm actually for real sampling this thing because like the other thing that I could be watching is the second half of Osama Ranking of Kings. Like I never actually finished that show, and now I'm kind of leaning toward what if I just finish that instead, instead of Spy Family, because Spy Family is okay, but it's not knocking my socks off. It's just okay. It's like perfectly watchable, like low key entertainment. That's kind of all I got to say about it. Like I could go on about like how this director is an old timer and he's done all these shows throughout the decades, but it doesn't seem very relevant to what Spy Family actually is.
Wait, you just said this show's just okay. You're going to get canceled now.
It's interesting that you have a point of view on how it's okay, regular, and all that. Because, like, for me, I've been watching Spy X Family, like, religiously. Because I've been waiting for this anime to come out. Because I've been reading the manga for, I don't know, past couple of months, maybe longer. And I was concerned on what the anime adaptation was going to be like. Because when Komi Can't Communicate manga I was reading and then the anime came out for that, I was disappointed when I was watching the anime. So for Spy X Family to be enjoyable, and the fact that I actually watched the episodes, I guess, multiple times was a plus for me.
Just watch.
So is it like faithful to the manga? Like what do you like about it in particular?
Yeah, it is faithful to the manga. So it's like you said, well, Twilight builds this fake family to achieve his mission called Operation Strix or something, which is, as they say in the first episode, is to prevent this guy from like starting another war or something, and in doing so, he has to get like a connection to him through this like full-on school. I think it's called the Eden High School or something or other. So that's why, you know, he had to find a child with and a mother to create this fake family. And it's really, like, to me, I find it really good because it's just like, you think this guy Twilight he's just going to be so tunnel visioned in completing his mission, but there's moments where he's actually like going and like trying to like do the best he can for like I can't think of the girl's name now. The child,
Anya.
Anya. Thank you. I couldn't think of
Anya.
that. He would like you know do all he can for her because like his mindset is like for the mission. I must do this for the mission. And
Yeah, but he's this like unfeeling, perfectly detached spying espionage machine.
yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like,
and
when this
it's
mission's over, I'm just ghosting all these people.
yeah,
So
just
I
drop
can't get
him,
attached to
drop
him.
him out of hat. So like it for me, it's been really good. The animation and the style, like it's not like your next Demon Slayer or any of those top notch quality animes, but it's just simple with like I guess like how it looks, but it just to me it does really well, and I really love the characters. Like, um, I can't remember if he was introduced into. I think he was introduced in the first episode, but there's a character named Frankie. He's a like he provides information. He's like an information broker or something. Um, he's quite a funny character, so. So yeah, that's my input on it. I definitely recommend this anime, but like it wouldn't surprise me if you wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. Like it feels like it is the show that it wants to be. Like when I try to brainstorm, what would I do to make this better? Now I can't really think of anything because I think it just is what it is. It's a perfectly okay comedy drama, and just like just slathering on the production value and like charismatic design work isn't going to improve like what it is. It just is what it is.
And like I guess a really funny moment is the fact that Anya has telepathic powers. He can tell what the like Twilight's codename Lloyd. What Lloyd and wow, I'm really forgetting names this morning.
Your
Thank you. Yeah, geez, I just can't remember names this morning. It like she can just like tap into what they're thinking, and then like it's like, oh, if this mission doesn't succeed, like the world will end, or like for like Lloyd, and then all you hear is just like, oh, I could kill them, like maybe, and she's just like going, holy shit, it's a full on thinking right there.
Yeah, they all have like pretty obvious character arcs. Where Lloyd, or sorry, Twilight is like warming up to, being a human being. And he's thinking he's starting to think about like what if, what if I actually took this family thing seriously and it wasn't just a ruse. And then Murder Wife is she's never had like a normal personal life because she's just like murdering in her off hours. And then the orphan is the orphan, so she just wants like a stable family.
yeah.
So,
But she's also excited for spy related stuff.
so with the hype this show has gotten, it brings me back to memories of Sword Art Online, and when that was coming out, how everyone was loving it and everything, and then everything just turned on a dime, and now everyone just trashes it so much. I wonder if that's going to happen to this show.
I hope it doesn't, because I don't know. I feel like Spy Family just has a lot going for it. It's like it's got like so many of these like nice, cute, funny moments, and I just think that like I think the reason why like also like SAO wasn't doing too well was because of how much like stuff has to like skip through to keep coming through like time wise, and like like we see one episode where like they're doing something, and then in the next episode they're like nowhere, like Kirito is like not in the same group anymore, and he's like super high level. It's like what just happened? Like what has happened in this like gap between the episodes? But like I think Spy Family just has a lot going for it, and I don't think it will end up in the same way as SAO.
Yeah, let's hope
I don't.
not.
I don't
Right.
see. I don't see how this show could be offensive. It's just a low key, lighthearted, comedy drama.
Mm.
You don't get giga invested in it in the way that you do with like Sword Art Online.
So we got people in chat telling Neo to get his stuff together because he's forgetting names here. And
It's because I'm Australian, isn't it?
It's the morning. Gotta give him a break.
but that's Spy X Family. I did watch the first episode dubbed because of some friends when I was in town. And
Wait, it's dubbed.
How is it?
Dubbed?
it is actually being dubbed. If you go to Crunchyroll, you can watch it dubbed. It's like about 2 episodes behind, I think, the current showing.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna go watch that now.
So has the merger of Crunchyroll and Funimation happened? Because I feel like Funimation was the simuldub people, right? Was that their shtick?
Yeah, the merger happened. I mean,
Merger
Funimation
happened.
is taking down stuff left and right. So,
Hmm.
is their site still up?
Site's still up, just the Funimation is not picking up any of the new series. They're just going on with the continuation of the current series they had it.
Yeah, and if you do watch any shows on their site, it plays an ad telling you that they've moved to Crunchyroll or something like that. That you can watch some new stuff there. But yeah, the dub wasn't too bad. But then again, I don't really care for dubs, but maybe some of you can now enjoy dubs on Crunchyroll if you didn't know that. But let's go ahead and go on to the
Okay.
next title.
Can I ask a question? How was the second half of Osama ranking? Like I missed that hangout. I missed that roundtable. Like, is it as good as the first half? Should I continue watching it?
Oh,
I
can
would
say it
continue
ended
it.
on a good note.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Jessica really liked it too. So I haven't watched it. I'm queued it up for, because I haven't watched any of it except the first episode. So I just need to finish it. All 20. It's a weird number, right? It's like 21 episodes or something, or 23. Anyway, yeah. But Jessica really liked it.
I actually
Okay, cool.
watched it in dub, so I watched it with its English voice actors, which I don't normally watch anime in English. And for me, like, I don't know if you watch it in English or not, but like, surprisingly, this anime, I don't know if it was because of the style, but like, just watching it in English was quite enjoyable for me.
Did they get a British studio, or
What
I'm just
studio,
wondering.
sorry?
A British studio? Did they, or was it an American studio? To do
Actually,
the
I
dub?
don't know.
I mean, what were the accents like? Is it American English or?
I'll actually just quickly look up because it's been a couple of weeks since I finished it, and I watch too much anime, so I forget.
Yeah, I was just curious. I usually watch things in the original language.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. But this is another one that's in. This one is in Disney jail, right?
Disney
So
jail?
this,
Disney? What?
yeah. So there's a couple of shows that are on Disney Plus. Exclusive. The Black Rock Shooter is on Disney Plus. The new one, Dawnfall, and this one I believe is also on Disney Plus.
They're getting in the anime game. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's in Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
Just real quick,
Okay.
because I had myself muted on YouTube, but we're talking about summertime rendering now.
So yeah, this is based on a novel series. don't know if it's actually. I'm not sure if it's a light novel or a novel series. I thought it said novel series, but um, it has concluded, and so you don't have to worry about original endings or anything like that. This is, I believe, a two-core adaptation of that, and it's a little bit interesting in that in the first episode, uh, just going flat out say it, in the first episode, the protagonist comes back to his childhood uh, home, which happens to be on the island because his he was adopted into a family after his parents died, and so technically his stepsister, oldest stepsister, has passed away from drowning, and so he's come back to attend her funeral, and he has strange dreams about her where she says, protect his other sister, the younger one, and there seems to be a little bit of a mystery about how she died, although everyone says that she drowned. Um, the coroner's or doctor's report, there is no coroner. The doctor's report says that they found strangulation marks on her neck, which is weird. They were all swimming, and she drowned trying to save a elementary school kid. And so all these strange things that don't quite add up happen, and in the very first episode, they find essentially a doppelganger of the younger sister, whom I can't remember her name, flat out kills the younger sister and shoots the protagonist in the head. End of story. Except he wakes up on the ferry to the island, and he's like, "What just happened?" And he seems to be in a time loop, similar to how Subaru and ReZero, right, experience it. And so he's in this death time loop where he needs to figure out what the secret of the island is and try to save the people that he loves. So, in that sense, it's a mystery. It's a little bit sci-fi, a little bit horror because there are these people that look exactly like you and seems to take over your life once they kill you. So it's pretty. I found the first what am I on? Episode 3. Episode 3. I think there's 4 out right now, but all of it seems well done. It's the animation is good. The voice acting is good. You might the I don't really recall if the music is good, but yeah, it seems to be a little bit more. So all of this will hinge on what the central mystery is and how it gets resolved, because mystery horror shows often don't end up quite well. Um, that's the main weakness of these shows. So, if you like a little something a little bit off the beaten path of moe moe kyun anime, then I can recommend it. It's got a little mystery element. It's got intriguing premise. Um, it's a little bit of ReZero, a little bit of Higurashi. So it has all these elements to make a really good story. I just hope that they can. I haven't read the original source material, so I just hope they can stick the landing. But it's a strong recommend for this season from me.
You're kind of selling me on it. Sounds like I don't know, a visual novel from the 90s or 2000s or something.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly older, but I spoiled the first episode, but things happen in the second episode too. So watch the first, and if it catches your eye, then there are things that happen as he goes back through. Right, you're like, oh, that's what that meant, or oh, I missed that. So it's one of those viewers can kind of participate and spot all the differences, kind of thing too.
Yeah, I do share your worry that like the floor for this type of story is very, very low, very deep. Like it could end up really bad, but nevertheless the premise sounds intriguing. I do like a good body snatchers or something strange is going on in this village type story.
I think the series ended last year, so if they are going by two core, They should be able to make a proper ending instead of a anime only ending.
So this makes the second show on Disney Plus, right? I think the first one was Black Rock Shooter, and now we have this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just can't like shake the branding of Disney because I'm like, but is it for kids though? I know it's not. But is it for kids? Do they sing a song? Does
No.
does does Stitch show up in it? Stitch on Island?
Mm.
Clearly, Disney, I don't know, internationally, Disney might have a different, branding than we typically think of. But, yeah.
Yeah, but I know that like Disney Plus is more their general audience. You know, it's like they got the Mandalorian and whatnot on there.
Okay, so
But,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Let's go to move on to the second season of the Shield Hero, or the Rise of the Shield Hero, which I don't know what to say about it other than it's just continuing on where it left off from last season, right?
Yeah, there's not much to really go about it. They're just continuing on from like the previous season.
Yeah, it's just a new enemy that the Shield hero has to face and deals with quorums with the other heroes, and it's just the same stuff as last season.
Would you guys say
Is
it's
this
lost its charm, or is it?
is this the
Um,
show? Is this the story where in the first episode he like goes to a slave market and buys a lowly cat girl slave or something like that?
Raccoon
I'm just
Man. Actually, not raccoons, Tanuki, but yeah, that one.
okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Good question there, Tank. If it's like it's lost its appeal or something like that. For me, I feel like it hasn't really been impactful with what's happening. Like stuff has been happening, and like I said, he's got to deal with a new enemy and all that. But for some reason, I'm just not like waiting every week for a new episode to come out like other anime. So I don't know if it's just lost its edge, or I've just got other anime that I'm enjoying way more.
So to me, it was like the first season was with the conflict with the kingdoms, his hatred, and his just his overall view of this world and how everything just wasn't going for him. And as he tried to move on and try to find a way through this world was very appealing. And now that kind of all the issues are over and now we just have a new boss, it just doesn't feel as fun anymore. Like I'm still going to watch it because I enjoy it, but I don't feel like it has that big appeal it did beforehand because of there's not as much at risk, or you don't know how he's going to be able to make it through. Because like if it's before, he had his major trust issues and stuff like that going on as well. But everything just seems to be going in the Shield Hero's way now, and I think because of that, it's not as cool, but it's still a fun show to watch.
I just really like how the well her original name was Melty, but now known as what bitch, and as her like standard name, and slut as her adventure name or some shit like that. I just like I can't remember what episode it was. It was like probably one or two, and she's just trying to manipulate the what is he, a spear hero or something. So like she's trying to like still manipulate him. It's just like, did you ask my mum if she could like remove my name and all that? It's just funny how shallow that character is.
do, do the other heroes actually ever improve? Because they're all idiots.
So,
Currently, no, they're all still a bunch of a-holes.
mm,
Yeah, that's why I said, like, currently, like, they're still just a bunch of a-holes because we don't know anything else after the first episode.
yeah, I think like compared to the shield hero, like now for me, or however his name's pronounced, I don't think they quite understand the big picture of the scenario that they're in. Because in the first episode, it's like they're all at a round table, the Queen's saying, "This has happened. Will you help us?" And then everyone except for the shield hero is just like, "You summoned us to deal with the waves, not your what's it like, region's issues or something like that." And they all just separate except for the shield hero. So their personalities haven't changed. They're all piece of shits.
Okay, with that said, I think we should maybe move on to the next title. I don't think Shield Hero has much else to offer us. Unless something exciting happens later on. But this show came out, I didn't even know it was in, or a thing. Tiger and Bunny, season 2.
Yeah, so I put this on the list because it just popped up on Netflix. It's supposed to be another two-core show, but the first part, the first core, first 12 episodes or whatever, just dropped. So it's available. It's back to the Tiger and Bunny universe. So if you haven't watched the first season, it's not going to make a lot of sense, but you can quickly catch up. Now, in this world, which is kind of a Western mishmash of a large metropolis, you could just call it, I forget what the city is called, but it's the city. And here, the superheroes, with all these abilities, they have been corporatized. So they work for corporations. They have sponsors. They put their logos. Pepsi, all these other car companies and uh, model kit companies and all of them. They're sponsored heroes. They go on these missions. The missions are actual crimes that happen in real time, and then they get called, just like Batman would, to the crime scene, and they compete against each other to try to save as many people, to apprehend as many criminals, all of this. So it's back to the same old, except in the first season, um, there was a conflict between the main characters, Tiger, Kotetsu, and Barnaby, the bunny. And in this season, the sponsors have implemented a buddy system, so the heroes work in tandem instead of solo. And so you get some new characters. They're introduced. They're usually a younger, more inexperienced hero with a more experienced hero as their buddy, and you see that kind of different dynamic. They're so far doing some missions, but there is an underlying tone of things that tie back to Barnaby's past that was never fully resolved about the murder of his parents. So, yeah, so far it's same old. It's a fun universe to watch. I find it more interesting than My Hero Academia, if you're into superhero type stuff. So it's very westernized appeal, I think. And yeah, if you like the first season of Tiger and Bunny, I highly recommend you check out season 2.
I remember, I think it was Pepsi Next was like the biggest advertising thing on that show. Is it still the big thing there in this new one?
Yeah, that was Blue Rose, the IC powered superheroes main sponsor.
They had a Pepsi Man.
It's a she, but yeah, there's a Pepsi sponsorship. If you just Google like the images of Tiger Bunny, you'll see their spandex suits or their armored suits. They all have like corporate logos on them that they're
Okay, like a race
sponsors.
car or something.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Does this come from the same? Who makes this? Is it the same director? Yeah, I've never seen the old one. I'm just kind of wondering.
Oh, that I'm not sure.
Like, do they bring back the old guys from a decade ago to work on the sequel or what?
I think the studio at least is the same, but I'm not on my computer, so I can't look it up. But quality-wise, it looks the same. Maybe even a little bit better because of the improved, CG. Um, but that's going off of memory. So yeah, it's interesting enough for me to check it out this season.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I watched the whole first season, so I can pick this up easily. I didn't even know it was out, so that's good to hear. But let's go on to the next title, which
It sounds interesting.
let me find it real quick. This title, Tomodachi Game. Looks like
Yes.
Neo and Dragon
Tomodachi
were
Game.
watching this.
I'll let Dragon take this one. I feel like you've been paying way more attention than me.
So I'm gonna make a guess just based on what it's called. Is this
okay.
a death game with like 12 teenagers with magical cell phones or something like that? Or am I way
Not
off?
so much a death game.
Right about a death game, but it's not. The little bits of details are a little off. So it's about a group of friends, and they are put into this game, and one of these friends has like allotted a huge amount of debt, and so they can either just like not like play the game, everyone just lives, but the person who like the friend that has allotted like I think it was like 20 million yen in debt, they are the only ones that like they have to pay off that 20 million debt. However, if they continue to play the game, then the debt gets split evenly 5 ways between, is it 5 friends? Yeah. It gets evenly split amongst those 5 friends. And as they play the game, the amount of debt decreases if they pass through the game. Otherwise, like throughout the game, it can actually like fluctuate where like if you don't follow the rules, your debt increases. And and
It's
so
like a Yakuza loan shark kind of thing, or where's this debt
um
coming from?
that's the thing is we don't know where the debt is coming from. We just know that one of the friends has allotted this amount of debt, and now they're put into this game to try to either like like play together and help like decrease the debt together, or just have that debt just be forced onto that one person that allotted it.
So they
And
did actually announce where, like, the first episode, where the debt come from. I don't think
and
like what happened was is like because they're in a school and what happens at the start of the first episode, they're all like going on a field trip and you have to pay to go to the field trip and one of the like female students, I think she was like class representative or something. Um, she had all the money in an envelope, and she had to see one of the teachers or something, and she puts it in the locker. Um, next, like thing that happens, they find out it's been stolen, and they're trying to get the person who stole it to confess. And then randomly all 5 students get called to the school late at night and are practically kidnapped and forced into this Tomodachi game, and it's just their whole thing is told. Someone has an occurring debt. There's 5 of you. We're all splitting that occurring debt in, you know, whatever percentage it was, and their goal was to play the game and reduce their debt to nothing. Um, and with how the game was set out, with the first game was like pretty simple. It was like a yes or no to your question thing, but with each reader, there was a little like message underneath it to like say like if you do this, you can reduce your debt in half, or you don't. So this anime's written really interesting in the fact of how much are you going to betray your friends? Is the friendship going to last until the game? So it's been really good. Like I think I think like I I haven't watched Squid Game, but like I felt like this would this would be something like Squid Game for some reason.
It kind of is similar to Squid Game. I wouldn't say it's like exact because like you're playing in a game where you can die but you're earning money, so it's like a death game. So that's why I would say it's like Squid Game, but it's not exactly like Squid Game.
Well, we don't know, like, because they've like hinted like things of like you could possibly maybe die, but there hasn't been anything like that. But the like what is it, like 5 6 episodes now?
It's
It's
5 episodes now. Yeah.
it's gotten really interesting on how everyone's friendship has changed.
Right, because it's all a test of like trusting each other. If like you believe what they're actually saying.
Mm. So for me, it was a bit of a weird one, and the off chance that I started watching it, but it's actually pretty interesting and finding out how the anime is ending, the like end result of what will happen.
I agree.
Is there a demonic supernatural character that's facilitating the game, or like how do they
Uh,
even know that there is a game?
So they find out that
Yeah,
it's like
there's.
being broadcasted, and I guess there is like an overhead speaker sort of moment. But other than that,
Hmm.
like the main icon or like of the like I guess the image of the anime, there's like this weird little boy with a round head and what's it? Has he got a hat? Yeah, he's kindergarten hat sort of thing, and he's like the mascot and also like leads them to like this is the game, this is what you've got to do, and then he just sits there and just laughs at them like
Mhm.
not trusting each other. But yeah, that's all I've got to add for this anime.
All right. Oops, wrong button. All right. Um, so it follows the same group of friends throughout the whole thing. It's not going to be like a different group of friends for each arc or something like that.
Currently we're following the same group of friends, but we do know that there are other groups that are participating. But like no one else knows other than like the overseers.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our last title. Sorry, which is called Yusha Yamemas. What is this again?
It's the one where like the hero of the world is quitting to become a hero and is trying to join the ranks of the demon queen that he just defeated.
Oh yeah, this show. This is another
Yeah.
one of those high dive titles. I actually kind of forgot about it. Um, I've read the manga of this, and I enjoyed the manga. The manga is actually really, really far. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't check out the manga. But the anime has been somewhat decent. It's a nice comedy in a fantasy world. It's not isekai. Of course, like he said, he just mentioned the Yusha, the hero of the humans, defeated the demon lord, and because they were kind of afraid of his power, they kind of kicked him out. And he decided that he also had nothing else to do. He was going to go to the demon army and join them and help them build up their ranks, because since he had just defeated them, they're all weak and everything, so he's going to help them out. Of course, at the very beginning, he's attacked by the demon lord, and even like, what the hell are you doing here? Why are you here? And he's like, well, yeah, I'm just here for a job. And she won't give it to him, but he's able to convince the 4 head generals of the army to give him a shot. And for some odd reason, like, all of the generals hold him in high regard in some way and form, either because he's strong and one of them respects the strong and strength. The other girl is kind of lives with these jungle rules where you're king if you're at the top of the the tree, the strength pole, whatever you want to call it. So she actually falls in love with him and even just calls him and tells him that they're going to be husband and wife. But of course, she's kind of like this not too bright character. So, and the other 2 heroes also hold him in high regard because if they know his strength and what he's able to accomplish. And they decide to give him a chance without notifying the demon lord, and it's just him helping each general through their difficulties, because you find out that even though they're the generals and they're the strongest within their group, they have a lot of problems and can't handle the task that they've been given, either because they don't have the skills for it, and they also lack the employees to help deal with it. So it's not bad, it's not great, it's something amusing at least. So if you have some free time, I think it's a decent show to maybe pick up and watch. But I don't think it's going to be one of those oh, you gotta watch or you should check this show out. But if if you like fantasy, I guess, and that's not isekai, then this might be okay for you. Anything else to add, Neo Dragon?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just one of those shows where it's like, if you've got time and you're just like, you just want something to kind of like kill time, and like you can just play this, and it's just like a nice, like, kind of like funny anime to just have on to watch. It's not like one like, oh, like you definitely need to watch. It's just like oh, like if you want to like casually just like watch a funny anime, like go ahead and like play this.
I would have to say the biggest thing about it is have that mindset of this is what happened. Not in most cases, but like this whole turn of events is after the hero has defeated the demon lord.
Yeah.
So there's no action, or if there is action, it's not on a gigantic scale, where it's the hero versus the demon lord, explosions happening everywhere. It's quite literally the demon lord army trying to rebuild itself, and now the hero, after being betrayed by humankind, he wants to help them build up their strength again. So it's just it's not impactful, but it's quite funny, the scenarios that he's put in and how blunt the character is. Like when he first comes to the Demon Lord Kingdom or whatever, he's straight up denied from the Demon Lord himself, and then has a meeting with the 4 generals, and he's like straight up just so blunt with how they defeated them and what their weaknesses are. So it's not entertaining with action, but I'd say it's somewhat decent with like just moments in it. So it's like everyone's saying, it's something you should watch if you have time. You shouldn't dedicate your time if it's like, you know, like I have to watch this, but like it's definitely something good to watch.
The other thing I like about it is that the hero's not really doing this to get back at the humans, anything else. Also, he's not like trying to build them up to attack or bring the armed force, the demon lords, to a way where they can start defeating the world again. It's more or less he's just trying to get them back and stable so that they can survive as well.
It's like he's primarily thinking of, I just need to be employed.
Well, that was his thinking afterwards, because remember in the first episode when he first approaches her, he was like, I want to join your ranks and help you like get back at all of the humans because they have like betrayed me, or like, you know. So but then after like working with the generals and then like talking to the demon lord, that's when his like his whole like thought process or his perspective changed, and instead he wants to help them just like live like an actual like life rather than get back at the humans.
I think when he said that, to me it seemed like it was all a ruse just so he can try to get into the demon army. Like he didn't really mean it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah, but other than that, not much else to say. Is there anything else that we might have missed or that we want to quickly go over for this season? I know we talked about the Cinephile movie that came out.
Pumpo the Cinephile.
Wasn't there another movie like Bubble or something that was coming
It's on
out?
Netflix.
There is another movie, yeah.
So maybe we can cover that at the end of the season, Bubble, which I believe you just said it was on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. It is not getting that good of a review.
Oh, oof.
And then we'll see what other movies come out throughout this year. I think Belle is out in stores, so if you want to watch that.
I think there's a movie coming out in June. Fortune Favors Lady Nikoko, I think was it? That's slotted for June 2nd.
Okay. Is that another G Kid?
Yeah.
Okay, I will have to look into that because I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I saw the notification from Phantom Event. So.
Oh.
Nice. That means Australia's going to get it next year. Sorry, Neo.
Oops.
Yeah, practically.
But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who's sitting there in chat and all the viewers that are here today. The first part of the season was discussed last weekend, so you can check out our video then. And I guess we won't see you guys back until the end of the season. Hopefully our list gets down quite a bit so that we don't have to split the video up. But then again, you know, I think this season was supposed to be the biggest one, right? For considering titles. So we'll see what we all keep up with and what we all drop. But other than that, I'd like to thank you all here. Dragon, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Neo from Down Under, thank you for waking up early to join us.
Yeah, no problem.
And hopefully Jessica join us next time. And we're still trying to, if you watch us and you want to join us, let me know. We can try to find some space on this table for you. We like to have newcomers come and share their opinions on the show. So other than that, I guess all that's left is to say goodbye, right?
Yep. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye everyone.
The